¿Qué pasa, amigos? How's everybody doing? Thank you for your questions. I had lunch with a good friend of mine today in Larkspur. And as I was driving back, um, Jesse Colin Young died. A lot of you might know the music, not him. I was introduced to him in the 1970s. Um, and I saw him in concert several times. He was a very nice guy. He'd come out afterwards and say hi and sign albums. So, you said, is that the singer songwriter or whatever you saw crossing someone famous? And well, he was 83, and although it's sad, I got to tell you, I don't think it's him. I think maybe later in the year there's someone else. Now, there was a beloved singer that died in a plane crash. 12 people died. Was it in Brazil? Uh, anyway, but apparently this person was beloved in that country, which is another person, but it feels like someone else. It feels like it could be a rather large, someone very famous. I feel that. So that's my head on that. I hope you guys are hanging in there. This too shall pass. Uh, love Rachel Maddow. I was so mad at her for a while, but I watch her now because she loves to show all the protests that are going on. Our local news station will cover protests that's going on in our area. So that's lovely. And I'm starting to get the ringing, I get the ringing before an earthquake. And I'm feeling good size coming, at least a 5, coming to probably the Bay Area. I know Danville had a 4.7 or 4.5. They change the numbers as soon as it comes up. I also don't feel good about Malibu. So, okay, enough of that. So you guys, thank you for your questions. I'll answer them to the best of my ability. Entertainment purposes only. I'm just a psychic. And I'll give you the hit that I get. But one of the main theme questions that's been going around here is about SCOTUS. Will they stop Trump from destroying the rule of law? And based on what Justice Roberts came out with, that's a definite yes. And the last thing that was before them, 2 of them went against Trump, and he was furious about that. He will pitch a fit, maybe even threaten to get rid of Justice Roberts. But Roberts is very disturbed about him acting like he doesn't have to follow any kind of rules. And what's going to happen with that is he'll test it still. But I see Roberts saying no. But you know what, Roberts, you're the one that started this. You're part of the gang that said, oh yeah, he's got immunity, and Trump ran with it through the streets. I've got immunity. I can do what I want. I'll be a dictator on day one. Anyway, so 1 second. Okay, so new rule with SS. They're saying that they're going to, if you want to pick up your check, they're not mailing. If you got direct deposit, that's one thing. But if you have anything that happened, one time someone stole out of my bank account and I had to change on my direct deposits and I had to go to my bank and do it. And I could call Social Security from the bank. Now they won't let you do that. So a lot of disabled elderly people are going to have a hell of a time. And let me tell you, I feel like this won't pass the mustard test. Does that make any sense? I heard no bueno. Okay, let me look. And they're shutting down areas you can go to do your Social Security. So let's see. Some sort of legal thing is going to happen. Somebody's going to challenge this. And I also see groups of people It's funny how this will bring people together, gathering together to help. You know how they help the elderly vote if they need to vote? Helping the elderly to go get their check or whatever they need to do. Social Security is not going to be happy about this. I saw a gentleman who ran the Social Security. He's not there anymore. He said these people have managed with a terrible budget, with already lack of staffing, to run this ship nice and clean. And now you do this and you take away 70,000. There's something's going to happen. But let's look, okay? A lot of people are worried about Social Security. So technically, okay, when he said, I'm not going to touch your Social Security, what he's saying, and what I felt too, is that they're not stopping you from getting Social Security, but they're just going to make it harder for you to get it, okay? Tell me about Social Security. There's a lot of people marching. A lot of people hate them. You know, when I was driving home, there's a lot of Teslas out here in Northern California. I had a hard time driving and flipping people off at the same time. I did too. So this is kind of blow up the waters, okay? Unexpected, sitting on the, unable to move forward. The angel of light and mercy. So patience, just be patient. They'll stall it up, maybe even in April, you guys. But look at this. Look at this. The monies will be distributed correctly. I feel like it even feels like a female judge coming in and saying, you know what? You show us where exactly all this fraud takes place. And also, if they overpaid you, Social Security can overpay you. They would say, give us 10% out of your check. Now, if we take the whole thing, you don't get any pay, even though it was their fault. So, even when I heard all this and I feel terrible, I also feel like this will turn around. Like everybody can't wait for Trump to get out so they can start hiring everybody back. So thank you guys for that question. And will the Supreme Court finally shut Trump down? Yes, because of Roberts and Amy, but not because of Kavanaugh and Thomas. Now, how come Thomas, is he going to give his? See, the thing is, I heard rumored that it's hard to find someone as below the belt as he is. They kind of like him being there. Because he'll always say yes to Trump. Tell me about Thomas. And will he stay in office while Trump is still in office? Yes or no? While Trump is still in office. Trump is going to go upside down. So maybe this is that he's got to go when Trump's going. Something's going to happen. His wife is around him. Yeah, you guys, he never has good cards. There's some, I think his health is compromised. They're telling us to just wait for it. Be lighthearted, don't look for it, don't wish him bad, and watch what happens. And something with his wife too. We've always thought it was him that would get sick, but maybe it's his wife that gets sick. Okay. Why is the reason Biden, Obama, and Bush are quiet about the current president? They usually don't. Tell me if I'm wrong. I usually never hear presidents talk about other presidents unless it's a compliment, like Obama did for Biden. So they don't have any compliments, so they're going to keep their mouth shut because really it's not for them to interfere. Yes, we're in a constitutional crisis, but just wait for it. When things start really going down, then you'll hear from them. Okay, hold on. Somebody just said they watched me and Arthur and said they laughed their butt off. I was on Arthur's show yesterday. Oh, by the way, by the by, Mel finally had a day without vomiting. He's on clear liquids. He must have lost so much weight. I'm so pissed off. So, I'd like to, in his honor, to go on a clear liquid, but I couldn't last 2 minutes because the chocolate shake would be looking at me. So, but he's exhausted and they won't release him until he can, hold something down. So that's going to be tough, poor guy. I just feel so bad for him. And he also needs to work, he has an office, he has employees. So I gave you guys his Venmo, Melvin, whatever that line is, Doerr, Doerr, if you want to throw a couple of bucks his way. But I feel really bad for him. He'll be okay, but it's just, and his husband is really, keeping things under control. That's really great. But anyway, he's just thanking everybody 1,000 times for everything. I know the minute he gets on camera, so he'll probably be, remember when Kirsten Langston got sick and she was so skinny, she looked like death warmed over? No offense, Kirsten. But I mean, it was scary. Remember? I wonder if that's how Mel will look, because not eating for a week. All right. Oh, God, his electrolytes were all off balance. Okay. Oh, yes, this is a good one. What does Theodore Roosevelt think about our nation's loss of visiting our national parks? I just heard someone say, damn fools. I don't know if this is him talking, but he's talking fast and he's kind of got a higher voice. It's not like a man's voice. It's like, damn fools. And they're going to try to do something with the minerals on the land, but they're not going to get through it because Trump will be out. Remember, he had told people you could drill at the Grand Canyon, and they even started, but then he lost. So yeah, he's about ready to go out. So it's not, listen, all this stuff he says he's going to do, even like with the Kennedy Center, that will all turn around. We will fix that. I'm sorry, we can't have nothing nice, but we will fix it. Listen, you guys, I had a little bit of a hit. And if you guys don't mind, I'll just look at it real quick. I'm kind of wondering about Jack Schlossberg, Caroline's son, running for president. He's been writing a lot, about how horrible Trump is. So he's already got my vote. I got to tell you something real quick, okay? We're going to look at Jack. I just saw something else, and I see Vice President Harris, and I see people mad at her. And I was thinking, why are you guys mad? Well, part of it is that she's not speaking up. This nation, in our new episodes coming out, won't put up with people who don't fight. That's what I got. In fact, I saw Schumer on something, and he may be a good statistician and knows how to do his numbers, and he probably maybe even saved us with the vote. But our people, especially our younger people, or anybody that has a mother on Social Security doesn't want to see her get kicked out of the home. I feel they're going to vote for people like AOC, and it just feels like it's a whole new world. Like a lot of these old timers, not like especially Pelosi, she needs to step down. She did a great job, but she needs to step down. Dianne Feinstein stayed in there till she died, actually. And what's his name? Grassley? Wasn't he around in ancient times? He needs to go. But anyway, it's good to have experience. It's good to have age, but that time is leaving now. I could feel that push. So Teddy was like, when he's talking to me about the parks, it's almost like even with bull that's going on, down the road, our parks will be even more protected and safe because we're going to go through some changes. There's some volcanic stuff coming up. We've got some earthquakes coming up, not to scare you, but I see that they're working climate, they're doing things they can do to help so families can enjoy it. That was the whole purpose, so families can go enjoy. Did any of you guys ever go to Yosemite or anything? Well, my parents were young when they had, my mom was 18 when she had me. And then my sister and brother, right? Bada bing, bada boom. And my dad was, what, 20? And they would take us up, and he was a fireman. He'd get that big 5 people tent, take it up to Yosemite and throw it open and blow up the inserts for the sleeping bags. I remember sleeping so comfy in those. And they'd campfire cook, which is just delish. And my poor mom had rheumatoid arthritis. I remember seeing her feet swelling and stuff, and she would take it easy, but Dad would get in there and hustle and get things done, and we just had a ball. And I really wish that for other, my kids, I hate to say it, but they're the gamer age. You want to go camping? No. We're going to get back into the nature thing again. But I think the outdoors is good for our people, our youngster, even me. If someone invited me to go up camping, except I think Dandy Shea said, hey, my wife and I are going to go camping or something. He invited me, and I said, hey, honey, if it ain't got room service, I ain't going. You know what I'm talking about? So, I mean, I'm a little old for it, but it's beautiful. That's the main thing. The smell, the energy. Real quick, you guys, I was just telling my girlfriend, who's married to an Irishman, my Irish story. And I know I probably told you guys before, but it was about my friend Bernard. And I used to meet him at a pub. This is in the 1970s. And one night we were there, we were drinking, laughing, and I was staying at his house, which it's Geary Boulevard. It was right across the street. So we were laughing, talking, had a few drinks, and I'm walking out the door, and other people are behind me walking out the door. And I realized Bernard's not behind me. So I turned around to try to open the door, and it was locked. And I kind of shook it and I knocked, see somebody could come up and I could say, can you tell Bernard to come out? And some guy was standing next to me. And I don't know what he said to me because I'd had a few. But I know he pissed me off. And then what he did, I must have said something sassy back, and he pushed me. Let me tell you something. People don't know crazy Comanche. People don't even have a clue. Although some of you guys may know, us mothers. But I only had Nicole at this time. And I was wearing a short, back in them days, bada bing, bada boom. You know what I'm saying? My dance card was full. But I had this cute little short dress and high heels. I never went anywhere without my spiked high heels. And when he pushed me, I flipped. And I just went off on him. I mean, slugging him, taking my leg, because I was a cheerleader. I took ballet. I was very agile. Let me tell you, I kicked him in the face. So he goes rolling out into the street. And I don't even remember if he put his hand up or what. I just know I saw fire. And I heard someone say, somebody, because nobody even tried to grab me. And somebody said, call the police. So I took off running across the street over to Bernard's house, and I'm sitting on his step waiting for him to pull up. And he had a white truck. And he turns it around and he pulls up. He said, hey, Linda. He was drunk. He said, some bloody effing gal just beat some bloody effing guy up just now. And I said, yep, Bernard, that was me. He sobered up so fast. He goes, oh, really? So, although we had a laugh about it later, but I told my brother the story. My brother liked to stretch things. When I heard him talking to his buddies and he's telling the story, yeah, my sister beat the hell out of this guy in San Francisco. It was in the newspaper. It was in San Francisco. No, it wasn't. So anyway, but good times, good times. Anyway, sorry I went off on that story. I just because she's married to an Irishman and we're doing the Irish week here. Um, Down the road, yes, Donna, there'll be a change in the immunity ruling for a president. There's going to be a lot of changes. The way we work now is going to be, let me tell you, and we get that young, fresh blood in there, and they're going to come up with some stuff that's pretty fantastic. Ways to work and create and make this nation even better to help our children. That Department of Education, I know they're going to blow it up, but it's going to come back even better. Why are the Trump kiddos so quiet? Well, I heard Eric is extremely jealous that his dad spends more time with Elon and Elon's son than he ever did with them. I imagine they're just stepping back. Listen, I don't know if you guys saw this the other night. I don't know whose show it was on, but I think it was on Rachel. They showed him at the Kennedy Center, right? Oh, don't worry about the Kennedy Center. They're going to fumigate it, put a bomb thrower to it, fix it up. But he was talking, he went up high and he only let his people because he didn't want to get booed like JD Vance. And he's talking to everybody and they're filming it. And all of a sudden the feed goes. And Rachel said, that's very different. That's unusual. They've been noticing lately, his people are cutting the feed on him when he starts to ramble. So, yeah. Okay. Oh, wasn't this terrible? Those poor children that were separated in Ukraine, they have their names. Some of them are older and they showed them in a long line and they were getting ready to put them on the front lines. I hope those kids run straight into Ukraine and ask where's my mom and dad. I mean, I guess they think they mindset them, but I don't see them killing other Ukrainians. I really don't, but we'll see. But Biden kept that list and the Trump administration destroyed it. But don't worry, it's somewhere, I can see it. So somebody kept a copy. Okay. Yeah, I do. People are so worried about Social Security. Do you see any interruptions? Let me look. I think if you have direct deposit, here's the other thing they're doing. Anybody like somebody from the US Army was born overseas, his dad was in the military, and all of a sudden they stopped his Social Security, but he's a US citizen. His father was stationed in Germany. Okay, let me look. Will people be pitching a fit come April, looking for their check? I'll tell you, you don't pay the people the money. Let me tell you, they will come out in droves. You think Tesla's had a bad time? Saw some cartoon that's a woman's on the phone. Elon, let me just tell you, there's only one person you need to talk to. And there's 5 things you need to do. The person is Jesus, and the 5 things are JESUS. I better be getting my check. I don't want to hear nothing else. Social Security, any interruption with Social Security? Strengths. Out of the blue resolution. Well, raking in the money, celebration, something's going to get stopped. But the outcome is being stuck. There may be I don't think it's going to be so terrible, some interruption or somebody that people don't get the check. I just think I don't see people not getting their money. Let me look real quick here. But it does show some interruption, 8 days. I'm telling you, people are going to be running to the disabled and everything. They're going to be running to attorneys and filing. I even see the Supreme Court. But we can't wait for that kind of thing. They just need to know. I see someone say pay them and then we'll continue in court. I'm just asking real quick, will there be any delays with Social Security? Celebrate success. So there may be rumors of delay, but there's some success here. There could just be so much fighting back that, did you see that Nancy Mace? She was talking about her little can of liberal tears. I love this drink, liberal tears. I thought, oh, honey, you have no idea what kind of tears you're going to be shedding. You know what I'm saying? These guys don't have a clue. They're walking into this storm. It's interesting. They're getting overwhelmed with phone calls and emails and faxes, yet they walk around with their nose up in the air. Like, it don't stink. It stinks. Will Trump ever be arrested for defying court orders? No. But you know who could be arrested is his attorneys. Maybe even somebody like Elon Musk. But I see the attorneys being found in contempt of court and the marshals taking somebody in. I do see that. I saw that the other day. But it's not going to be Trump because Trump will say, hey, listen, I had these people doing this. Oh, okay. Now this I want so bad I can taste it, but I worry that I want it so bad that I'll start thinking in terms, you know how sometimes you want something so bad and you don't want to give somebody the news. You know who's good at separating themselves? They're Sterling and Marianne and Nath. Okay. But here's the question. Will the Democratic candidate win the upcoming House elections in Florida and the one in New York? Isn't there two in Florida? The thing is, if we were to get blue wins there, that would just give you the pulse of the nation. Because they're already saying when they're doing things, they're saying 80% of Americans don't agree with what's going on right now. 80%. And they don't like, what is it? Musk has a 3% approval rating? Yeah, one upcoming special house. And then Musk puts a thing up. I just do electrical cars. I just made electric cars. They haven't done anything wrong. Buddy, it's not even about the cars. What it's about is you ripping Americans off, you calling, he says people need to die if they disagree with you. I'm glad the astronauts got back too. But that death card in his realm tells me something's going to happen that's going to end, or someone may get hurt because of what he's doing. Because he's not a very good scientist. Will we have a win? Yes or no? Please answer the truth. I'd like to wish my friend Karine, her birthday's coming up Friday. Here's some really good news. Hello. It's interesting. It starts off with at the crossroads, like we might be a little worried, or maybe the rumor is we're not looking as good. Hello. That's pretty much an absolute yes. Victory after burden. Holy cow, that would make, oh my God, you guys. Too good to be true. Let's go with it, okay? What was it? Who did I read? I read on something. That I didn't have any any skin in the game. It could have been, will the Eagles win or will Kansas? And that was just as clear as day that the Eagles were going to win. I said, well, that's how these cards work. Okay. Oh, Vicky said, when will this be over soon? We are here for our American friends. In the famous words of Jesus Christ, not until you cry. Not until you cry. Remember when he was walking out of the temple and he said, your house is a house of demolition, of lizards and snakes. And that's the White House right now. And I will never return, not until you cry. And that's what I was feeling like. By the time he's out of there, people will, I was just telling my girlfriend today, people will cry with joy. They're going to cry with joy. I mean, please, entertainment purposes only, but you guys know what I'm talking about. If we were to wake up today with the news, I think I would actually break down in tears. More from relief. I know it's not good to be gleeful, but more from relief that, this is over. The other one I'll be very happy about is Putin. I don't see a run on the banks. I could be wrong. And that damn stock market went up again. So it went up, 200, 300 points. Tesla went up 10. But then what'll happen, like tomorrow, it goes back down. Yeah, I do see changes, Jess Bob, changes to the Dem leadership. I'm going to tell you right now, we got some dynamite people in there that are going to start taking care of business. I really do feel that. And I feel that I see vets who've already served that are standing there at guard at Washington, making sure that the Trumpsters can't come. It's really weird. I'm telling you, I'm wondering who comes in and takes over. Listen, when they showed that picture of Amy Coney Barrett when Trump did his little speech, the look she gave to Trump when he had turned, like, she knows. She knows. By the way, I got tons of prayers, so we're gonna have to do prayers again. Now I'm leaving Friday for Arizona. I'm gonna go to the OK Corral with my friends, and I might do a prayer session up there because I like that energy in Arizona. Gene Hackman's neighbors were arrested? I didn't see that. 1 second. Let me put you on pause so I can Google this. So I Googled that and I don't see it. I don't see that the neighbors were arrested. They said they barely knew them. They weren't, very friendly or open. And after he was really sick with his Alzheimer's, she got out the picture even more, where they weren't. She would go into town and go to the dog store and stuff. That poor dog died in the cage, starving. So, okay. So you guys, hold on. Shouldn't have opened my phone. I got all kinds of messages. So I don't see, send me the link. I don't see the neighbors being arrested. You guys like me and Arthur. That's cool. Everybody's asking when is the end of the Trump era? But I can't give you the time frame, but I can tell you it'll end. But because of it, as terrible as this is, a lot of healing is going to have to take place. He won't have as big of a chance as Hitler did for destruction. But we will come together and it will work out. But the youth is going to kind of take over. Well, Callie, one of Trump's final actions going to cause Americans to go crazy is this Social Security thing. So watch what happens, okay? Um, let's see. I see Chuck Schumer being primaried. I really do. No, Marco Rubio is going to go hide in the basement. I don't see him doing anything heroic, nothing at all. I'm so sorry, you guys. You know, it's funny, a lot of these people that were working with Trump, why didn't they say things before? You know, they come out later. So anyway, okay, well, I don't know how long I've been on, but I got to start getting ready to fix my son his dinner. And tomorrow I got a hair appointment. And then I'll be packing tomorrow night and heading out for um, Arizona. So I will be up there and I'll send you guys links of any of the fun stuff, especially the food we're eating. Be sending them to Mel. No, I'm not that cool. Yeah, I am. Okay. I love you all. I'll catch you on the other side. Cheers.